Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Regina Harrell with Embrace Life, your motivational strategist in the house. And today I have a special guest on the show. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. So I'm Francesca Felder. I go by Fancy, and I'm the award-winning publisher and editor-in-chief of SwagHer Magazine, which is an empowerment and lifestyle publication for the Black woman that likes to keep it real in life and in business. And I strategically execute brand campaigns for Black women-led businesses as a publicist and visibility coach.
Wow, that is awesome. Yeah, I actually seen your page on Facebook, and I was like, wow. I said her magazine is fire. I said it's fire. I love it. But my topic, you guys, is called She Empowers with SwagHer, and that's the name of her magazine, SwagHer. And I guess what drew my attention, because I'm all about that girl power all the time. And I love to see women uplifting one another in their endeavors, everything that they do. So what motivated you to start SwagHer Magazine?
Well, it was actually like the stories of other more affluent Black women. At the time, I moved to Baton Rouge from Macomb, Mississippi in 2008. And at that time, I had never met any other Black business women outside of like hairstylists. So when I came across all these women, I felt so behind, and I was like, oh my God, when am I going to make it? And at the time, I wasn't really looking at the fact that a lot of these women were like possibly even, in their 40s or in their 30s. And I was only like 23 at the time. No, 20. I started the magazine when I was 25. So I think I must have been about 24, 25. And they would tell me their stories like to uplift me, like telling me about the things that they gone through in life and just how they overcame. And I just really embraced that. To me, that was just like, I think that's one of the most kindest things that we can do, like as Black women with each other, when we share our stories and actually let other people know that, you too can overcome, because I've gone through this and I overcame, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I wasn't used to that. So I was like, oh, more people need to know about it. And I didn't know, like, I wasn't that person that grew up reading Essence magazine, though I had always heard of them and admired them. I had never went to Essence Festival and nothing of the sort. But so I say that to say, like, I didn't know anything about women's empowerment. I didn't know anything about business women, or just I didn't know much about being a woman, because I was 23 years old, coming from a little small country town. I had been a teen mom since I was 14. So by then I had 3 kids, and it was just, everything was new to me. And so for me starting out, I thought everything was new to everyone else as well. But I realized along the way that, a lot of this other Black women do know, but there's still so much more that Black women don't know. And I try to make certain that we're providing them, with that information.
Absolutely, because I mean, what you're doing is outstanding. Because like I said, I was like, "Dang!" I said, "This is nice." Because actually, I just started my magazine in January of this year.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you, and it's actually called Embrace. So I was like, "Well, shoot!" I said, I said I really don't know how I'm gonna come up with all the content, and cause mine is by it's monthly, so it's monthly. So I was like, how am I gonna come up with all this content, and and once I started, people start coming to me. So it was starting out as just empowering women, helping them evolve, helping them emerge. But then I start having the men, saying, well, hey, can I be a part of it too? I said, why not? So like I said, it's great to see us empowering one another. And so like far as once you got into SwagHer and everything, like how do you come up with the name SwagHer?
So, again, this was 2010, right? And like swag surfing, I always remember like watching this award show, and they started swag surfing, and it was like that feeling that I felt. And even when I went to Essence for the first time this year, and we swag surfed. And again, I felt that feeling of just like all these Black people just having a good time, just positive vibes, and that's what I really want for the magazine readers and viewers and followers like to get when they're experiencing us. So initially I had the name as SwagHer. And the graphic designer that I was working with at the time, I always credit this to him. Like he saw it and he was like, this is too masculine for a women's magazine. He was like, you should change the G to an H. And I'm so grateful for him for thinking of that suggestion, because I'm like, that was it. That was really the thing. So I've even had people over the years, they'll be like, well, that song is so old, and like, do you think it's time to change your name? But we've worked so hard for this name. I'm like, I can't see us changing it. Like that's 12 years that we've had it.
It's a brand.
Right.
It's a brand.
Right.
Wow. But I mean, I love it. I love it. So it's like what I want to ask, like, have you ever been because you said that you've been doing it for now, what, 12 years?
Yeah.
So have you ever like come to like a place where you like, you know what, I don't see it going anywhere? Or
all the time. Girl, like all the time. That's why you just starting out, but it kind of, especially I feel like with trying to be something that's positive in especially in 2022, it's very possible, but it's hard, because you're trying to go against the grain. Like, I oftentimes look at it like I'll see these gossip sites and things that's promoting negative stuff, the fights and things like that. You see those pages and accounts pop up, and then boom, 100,000 followers, 200,000 followers, and you're sitting here like, we keep getting to 50,000 and dropping back down. Like we honestly got to 50,000 twice and dropped back down. And I'm trying to figure out, what it is. But I think a part of things, just because one thing I've said before, like I think that the people that follow us like on our Instagram and our Facebooks are not necessarily the same people that read the magazine. I think those are actually two different people. And I've been trying, like, really, it's been a struggle to figure out how to appeal to both of those groups of people. And so that's why this year I came up with the idea, because I was like, it's a lot of business women that follow us, like they're really ambitious, and a lot of them are successful and things like that, but they got a shady side to them. Like I'll be reading them in the comments, like reading their comments on the Instagram page, right? And I was like, but they're cool people though,
right.
So I was like, I like to see Black women just being themselves, and oftentimes that's what those comments really show to me. And so that's why I was like, oftentimes when people think of business women, you think of this, I almost want to say rigid type of exterior, or everything is very formal, and I'm not a formal person. I came about the magazine like I had never worked for another magazine or PR firm before I started SwagHer. So to just like, it's very different for me. I could be very professional, but formal, that's just not me. That's just not, who I am. And I think the magazine is a big reflection of who I am,
And see, I feel the same way too, because, I always worked like in the TV field. Cause I used to work for a news channel, and now I'm doing radio. So I said, but my baby is writing. I love to write. So I had always wanted to start my magazine. So I'm just now stepping out to do that. But I love it. It's like therapy. I get the, that's my meditation point. But I like to see people who are up and coming, and I don't look for like the ones with the most likes and the famous people. I look for the ones that I feel like people overlook, and then I gravitate to them, and then I put their stories up there. And I also believe in like relationships and stuff, so I have like a special column in every magazine that's promoting marriages, because people, they're not studying marriages anymore. So I, bring like positive side to relationship stuff. So it's almost like self-care stuff that, I find myself you know, at one point in time, I won't take care of myself because I was too busy helping everybody else. So I said, so it got to be something that I, you know, I have to do for myself to be able to promote the self-care. I got to do it for myself.
Yeah.
You know, so was it hard getting supporters at the beginning?
Um, it's been in between. Like, and even still now, it's still in between.
Mhm.
I think if I were in, it might seem mean to say, but sometimes I think if I was anywhere else outside of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, like I would have experienced more success.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I don't want to discredit those people that did embrace us, you know, because a lot of people are like, oh, she has a magazine, you know, but oftentimes I feel like, and I don't know if it's just because now there are more magazines in existence.
Mhm.
But like, you know, we used to get like VIP treatment, especially like when I go somewhere else. But when it's things here in Baton Rouge, like people will be like, oh, I've never even heard of you. And so it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like really weird, but like, and people will contact us like, oh, I think some type of ways in the past because I did live in Duluth, Georgia at one point. So we were like actually in Atlanta,
Okay.
and something is somewhere still in the system. Most people still register us with Atlanta. So like people even contact us, you know, about PR services, and they're thinking that we're in Atlanta, and I have to explain. But also that's a big part of our target audience, but and our market. But at the same time, you know, it's just because more stuff takes place there than it does here in Baton Rouge. So I often go there to do things. But it has been a lot of people like to really embrace us, and then there's just the people that's just like, oh, it's just another outlet, you know. But I'm like, hey, we have survived 12 years. I have survived being homeless multiple times, abusive relationships, and people leaving, people just different incidents with the magazine, clients and so on, that really could have just put us out of business, you know.
Wow.
So the fact that we've sustained through all of that, I'm grateful for those that have supported us. You know, I appreciate those people.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm sorry you had to go through the you know, going through the homeless stage and stuff like that. I would say, you know, like I said, I'm just now starting out, you know, seeing how things are. And like I said, it's, you know, it's not even about the lights and stuff anymore. It's just something I look forward to doing. So now, well, actually next month I'll be doing like my first women empowerment. So
Okay.
I'm stepping out to do that. So what I'm finding out that people are now reaching me and say, hey, I need for you to show up. You know, I'm having this event, show up. I need for you to give a spiel about your magazine, you know. And I said, but you know, I do so much more other than the magazine. They say, I understand, but the magazine is your baby. So you know, I find myself, you know, stepping out and you know, talking more and stuff about my magazine, what it's about. And so like I said, when I went online and I saw your magazine, I said, okay, cool. Let me reach out to her, you know, because I know lately there have been a lot of people scamming on Facebook.
Girl, don't get me
They
started.
have been scamming. And I said, well, I'm just gonna send a message. Hopefully, you know, she'll get back you know, with me in what you did. And I appreciate that. But like I said, it's been so many scam people. And I said, well, you know, it would be nice to meet somebody, you know, of my same likeness, so you know what I'm doing, you know, to see, you know, how it was when you first started up to now. And you know, you said that you've been doing it for 12 years. And like I said, it's awesome. So hopefully one day I get like you, I'll be over there. I'm actually starting in my 40s. So I'm 42. So I'm actually starting in my 40s, and you did tremendous. You started early. So have there been anybody reaching out to you on how to actually put one together, or like doing a class on how to do it?
People have asked in the past, and I was kind of like undecided because I'm not gonna lie, like I came into this with no knowledge. Only thing I knew was that I was a creative and that I could write, because I remember writing my first story in first grade.
Mhm.
So, you know, like I knew that I could pull it off, but I have had to learn so much by myself. So at one point I was kind of like, oh, I might should charge for this information. But just kind of as I be since we are a PR firm as well. Well, I call us a PR boutique. I realized that we need more publications, you know, because we need those placements for our clients. And I'm just oftentimes looking at how a lot of other publishers and editors in chiefs do things and that are newer than I am. And I want to say something, but I'm like, I don't really know if it's my place or not. But if anybody were to ask me now, I don't mind sharing their knowledge because, especially having been someone that has been homeless and just that has done without, you can have that mindset lack. But when you can move past that, then that really changes the ball game for you. So I'm like, hey, I don't mind sharing the knowledge. I've even thought of doing some other things just because there are getting to be so many Black publishers out there. They might have another business, but they're doing something else. And I want to tell you, embrace those opportunities to talk about your magazine, girl, because that's how you get people to read you.
Right.
Think about it. We as a community, it's so hard to get our people to read, but there are a lot of readers amongst us. And as long as they know what their options are, that you're out there, then that really helps. Because I don't know if you're trying to monetize, but like getting the website views mean everything.
Right.
I know also, of course, sharing a story also means everything. But when you're looking at it from a business standpoint, getting those advertising dollars can really help things out. And it helps us be able to do more,
Invest in your lifestyle today with Embrace Magazine. It's a self-care magazine that caters to your physical, mental, spiritual, and financial lifestyle. It features relationship building, self-care tips, style, and much more. Embrace Magazine encourages you to evolve, emerge, and empower. Get your copy today. For more information, contact Regina Harrell at 252-258-3815 or subscribe at embracemag@wixsite.com/my-site. Invest in yourself. You are worth it. Looking to be branded or to relaunch your brand? Look no more. SwagHer is offering Be Seen, Be Heard cohort to work with Black business women seeking more visibility for their brand to launch or relaunch within 1 to 2 months. For more information, go to the link swagger.online.com/be-seen-be-heard-cohort/. Join now. Absolutely, because I know my youngest, I call her tech savvy. She was the one that said, "Mom, you got to monetize," and she said, "And I know that you be putting your shows and stuff out, and they be watching it for free and stuff. Why not just usher them over there to YouTube and let them, have them come over and watch it then?" But what I wind up doing is I did virtual. I have a virtual magazine and a physical. And so what I'm doing now is I said, well, shoot, by the time I do the physical copy, as much as it costs, especially with the people I'm going through, I'm trying to find another way of doing it so it would be cheaper by the buck for me. But the way I'm doing it is almost like I'm not making anything because it's going directly to them, because shipping everything. So
we don't make a lot of money off of print. I'm not gonna lie. Well, let me take that back. Depending on how big of an issue we put together, because the page counts matter, right?
Yes.
So depending on how big the issue is, we do oftentimes lose out because we do have bigger issues. I really had to learn how to cut back on the content, because I used to really want it to be like, I really, they say for publishing that I think it's about 60% of it is supposed to be advertisement, and then the other 40% is supposed to be content. For us, it's been different because I wanted, for me, every story that we share in that issue is of significance. There's a reason why I feel like this is some type of information that Black people or Black women really need. So it's oftentimes hard for me to be like, okay, we're not gonna put this one in this issue. So that is just like, one thing that I've had to work on and that I would consider, just in your position. I get what you're saying. I know a lot of people use like is it in demand type of printing, and we started out with those, but we did, like, I've gone through several printers, but the one I'm with now, even still, like, even as you were saying it, I was thinking to myself, because we're gearing up for another issue. And I was like, I need to be exploring my options, because I'm easy to get stuck in one place, but there might be somebody else out there that's even cheaper, you know? So especially with, again, because there's so many more magazines coming to an existence, I think there might be even more printers coming into existence, you know, more people with those capabilities. So yeah, we should keep our options open.
And see, you know, just like when I had brought up the question about the one who actually want to get into it, you know, like I said, I'm about like you. I don't mind helping, you know, them get to where they are, because, you know, I know how it was whenever I try to get help. And, you know, they pretty much was like, I don't know about helping her. She might be bigger than me. And we have those type of people around. So I'm that type of person that I want to help you, because see, my magazine may not be whatever your magazine is. You know, our clients are not going to be the same. So I don't mind helping, you know, so I always say, you know, if you can surround yourself by people with like-minded, you know, mindsets, that's a fantastic thing to do, because at the end of the day, you know, you're learning from each other, you're bouncing out ideas and stuff off each other. But you know, they have what they call copycats. And I said, you know,
I've dealt with my fair share of them, believe
really?
me. Yes.
Yeah, that was one of the things I said, oh Lord, you know, when somebody try to take my idea and run with it, but I'm so used to doing that. Even when I was doing events, they were doing that. So I was like, you know, this ain't, you know, nothing new for me. But far as other endeavor, are you doing other things other than your magazine?
Well, since we double as a PR boutique, like, we actually have clients that, you know, come in through the magazine, and then we work with them from a PR perspective. And that's kind of, we've been doing that for about maybe 4 to 5 years now, and that really helps. But then I added on my visibility coaching this year, just really trying to find a way to attract more clients, but also realizing that I'm good at a lot of things, you know, like just when it comes to social media, with writing, you know, like, I am really a creative. So I've just realized also, I used to be that person that was very much behind the scenes. Like, I didn't want anybody to see me. If I would always, like, I would hire an assistant or someone. I've had my VP of marketing for like 10 years out of the 12 now. So he was more so the person that was always handling the customers or the clients. And I didn't realize how much I was hurting myself, you know, like, had I been putting myself out there, those could have been relationships that I could have built and just like continue to grow. And, you know, I think my reach would have been a lot wider, but it took me a really long time to get out of there. And a big part of that is because of, you know, life happening and me feeling like, oh, now isn't the right time for me to be trying to do this, or oh, once everything is all together, then I'm going to do it, then I'm going to show my face. And like, I've even got on Instagram this year, and somebody was like, oh, I always wondered who the person was behind this, you know? So I'm like, you know, like, it's just further confirmation. But to be more personable with people, I mean, especially that's the type of brand that I've always wanted us to be, I just always kind of feared it for myself, you know? So that's another thing. Like, I've had to do a lot of growing in this position. And you would think it was almost preparing you to be something else outside of just, you know, a magazine publisher or editor-in-chief. But even just as I went back to school this past summer, and I took this African American media class, and just learning about, you know, just mass comm from the Black perspective was just so mind-blowing to me. You know, I'm still just looking at the models of how they did things, and just like, you know, how could I recreate this and make it more of my own and more modern and still make it a success? You know, I'm still looking at things like that. So as you can see, I love what I do, you know, but it can get to be stressful at times, though. I'm not gonna lie.
And I understand, and I do notice that every time I would do a magazine, it seems like you get better and better and better and better. So I guess it's like, I guess the more you work with it, the more creative that you can get with it. And I enjoy it too. I love it. I do. I love it. But when it comes to you know, a person who's saying, you know, I'm having an idea to do it, I think I might want to do it, like, what would be some tips that you would give them to even start?
excuse me, I would definitely suggest in this day and age, if you can find a niche, find a niche, you know, because that's better. I think I almost want to say, like, I know you include men in your content, and at one point we were trying to do the same, but it was like men weren't really responding. But whenever we share a man's feature, they would get a lot of views. But as far as like getting them to pay for a feature or pay for advertisement, it seems to be so difficult to do because I think that they think much grander. And you know, they want us to have like Coca-Cola type of advertisements or something like that type of reach. So but I think there is opportunity within like featuring Black men content wise, you know, like magazine wise, if you're going to create things for them. And I think, you know, and if you're a man, it's probably even more better, or if you know men well enough, then hey, there's opportunity right there.
Right.
I would also say, you know, definitely be prepared to write. Because a lot of people, like you, I heard you even say earlier, you was like, you know, I don't know where I'm gonna get all that content from.
Right.
I used to write everything. You know, I used to write the whole issues, and then I began to slowly have people that would ask me to submit their stuff, and if it was good, then you know I would include that. And now I've built up a team of contributors, but there's still times like, you know, if our money gets slow, because I do pay them, it's not a lot, but I make sure I pay them something. And it's like, you know, I might have to be like, hey, hold back on y'all submissions. And after a certain point, I'm be like, you know what, you gotta get them. We got like I still like for my website stats to look good. So I'm like, hey, you need to write something. But I'm just glad that I am able to write because something like that did recently happen. But I had really been going through like a year of just like being really stagnant, not able to really write anything. I was doing some work, but nothing really creative or that I just really felt passionate about. It was more so like I was just working, you know? And so now I've been writing again for fun, and I really enjoyed it. But be prepared to write though, you know, and like don't like don't try to limit yourself, you know, like try other writing styles and things like that, you know, try writing off offbeat things that you wouldn't normally write about, you know. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there, because initially it is going to be you. People will say, I've had so many people tell me, oh, I want to write, never hear back from them, you know, like and they never get started. So yeah, like but you know what you're capable of, you know.
But you know what? I do have I have wonderful contributors, the one that do contribute. And what I do is on the front, like towards the front of the magazine, I make sure I put them as being contributors, you know, in there. And then like my sponsors, you know, whoever I'm advertising for, I make sure I put that, you know, so people know what they're gonna be looking at once they start turning the pages. But you know, it's just been difficult trying to get the stuff in on time, and then you find yourself rushing, you know, because you're like, oh Lord, it just sent me this in, so let me try to make this fit and little stuff like that. So I was like, wow. But you know what? The crazy thing, I have two that I could show right now.
Oh, that's so nice.
My lady here, the Queen of Color, and then the Mr. Diaz here. And so what I found out is I have more men reaching out to me to be on the front cover than the women.
Wow.
So it's like more men, you know, trying to you know, get on the front cover. And I think it's a great thing. So even with the women empowerment, they said, can we come too? I said, why not? Why not?
That's good though. We need more men to be into
the
whole empowerment aspect of things.
We do. So any given opportunity, I try to, you know, make sure, you know, I make that happen and stuff for them, especially if they have music. Like if you know it's a young brother out here that try to get their music off the ground, I say, hey, if you could clean up these words for me, I could play it for you on the radio. You know, I don't mind helping people like that, you know, because I see, you know, that they're trying to feed, you know, they're trying to eat. So, you know, if I'm eating, I want to make sure you eat too. Right. You know, because my biggest reward is the favor from God. So I already know where my, you know, rewards and stuff ride out. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I think that it's wonderful what you're doing, empowering women. And hopefully, you know, with my women empowerment next year, because I'm trying to make it annual, maybe I can get you, you know, to try to come down and
let me know. Like I love I love to speak publicly. So if you need me, I'll be there. Just let me know anything.
All right, I'll let you know, and trust me, it'll be way, you know, ahead of time, so you know you have some time to prepare. But But real quick, you can let people know how to get in touch with you.
Okay, so everything related to SwagHer Magazine is at SwagHer Magazine. Like our website is swagher.net. That's SWAGHER.net. And then everything pertaining to me is Fancy Swagger. So that's FANCY SWAGHER. Yeah. Okay. And it's but we do have a bulletin which is part of Facebook's independent journalism project. So you all can also check out the Higher South. That's all the way it sounds. The highersouth.bulletin.com, and we're more so focused on the southern states and just spotlighting people there.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Well, I thank you so much for giving, me and us some of your time, to talk about your journey and stuff as editor-in-chief and publisher, magazine publisher. And it's great to meet another one,
Right. That's true.
Yes, ma'am. But is there anything that you would like to end with before we end?
No, just y'all be on the lookout for our healing issue, because that is the one that we're working on, and it's going to be released in mid-October.
Awesome, awesome. You guys, y'all check her out. And like I said, I found her on Facebook, and they are fire. All her magazines are fire. So I really commend everything that you do, and I wish you luck and many more other endeavors that you're gonna be having going on. With the speaking, engage, whatever, you even print a book, who knows? You never know.
Yeah. And likewise, same to you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And it was nice meeting you.
Likewise.
And guys, huh?
Oh, I was saying you have a good evening. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Oh no, I was gonna tell everybody, have a great rest of their day. And they know how I do. I always say I'm out. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, you guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Embrace Life. I am your host, your motivational strategist, Regina Harrell. And until next time, always remember, don't be the product of your environment, be the change. And I'm out.